Hey everybody, welcome back. How's it going? And Miley's moms have no bragging rights because it was a draw in the house tonight. And they both scored. So Miley has a lot to be proud of. Well,
so Miley doesn't have a favorite. Miley doesn't have to comfort one over the other tonight.
Oh my gosh, is this turning into a Miley channel?
I'm okay with that. How is it going, everybody? Big game today. We're going to mostly talk about that game, and then we'll kind of run over some other scores at the very end of the WSL season, but it is here. The WSL season is here. Kicked off last Friday, and it is Sunday today. But wow. I don't think anyone was anticipating what happened at this Arsenal-Man City game because all eyes were on this game this weekend. It was wild. It was wacky. There was some controversy, but there was some controversy, but it was a fun game. And like Sarah said, Miley doesn't have to comfort one or the other, or / there's no bragging rights from Viv or Beth because they both scored and they tied.
Well, she has to comfort both of them because technically there wasn't a win.
Oh, true. But that's pretty much what we're going to talk about because I think going into this game, Viv even had a tweet saying she's never been more nervous than going into this game at the Emirates, being a visitor, and going in there knowing that, all eyes are going to be on her, very anxious place to be in. You want to do well. There's so many layers to what Viv was probably feeling at that point, and she expressed that in the Instagram. But going in the match, when the lineups came out, I'm going to focus more on Arsenal, but we saw that Leah Williamson wasn't playing because of a concussion protocol, and then Beth Mead actually wasn't even starting. Alessia Russo also wasn't starting, so the lineup was people had a lot to say about it to begin with, especially against City, one of their top competitors. I was looking at the comments, and people are expressing why it made more sense for Jonas to play certain players. But then you look at the players that weren't starting. The team is just so stacked that any 11 going out there at any time is going to be the highest level. You know what I'm saying?
Top notch, top shelf.
Yeah. But overall, it was a wild match. But going in 6th minute already, going to the game, obviously Viv started for City, but 6th minute, Viv was starting out strong because it came close to scoring. And although it didn't go in, I thought that was a good, it was going to put their head in the right place, Man City. But unfortunately for City, just a minute later, Arsenal scored. They scored a banger. It was free to Maanum, and that was a hard struck ball. That goal was incredible. A lot of times we watch these games. Okay, not much happening. They kick, there was a lot of action in this game. Just like a lot. And I love games like that. A part of that action in the 13th minute, Stina Blackstenius kind of had a close call. That was kind of the game. There was a lot of action. It was very
fast paced, lots of action, very entertaining to watch.
Big save. Actually, I believe the save was by Katie McCabe in the 23rd minute. If you look at it, that could have been a goal right there by City. Then, in the 41st minute, here was the moment for City.
Magic moment.
Viv was here. She was here to prove a point, and this was a beautiful goal.
Ooh, what a banger.
This goal was beautiful. It was a deflection, so if you look at the way the goal went in, I don't think Maanum had any chance to save it, just the way the ball was going. But so happy for Viv. Coming in, scoring on your old team, it was beautiful. And at that point, it was 1-1. And, just so many chances. I'm just looking at the highlights here. So many chances on both sides. Both keepers did a really good job, but so many chances. Then, going into halftime 1-1. And this is where one of the controversial calls, coming back from half, Caitlin Ford scores. It looks like a good goal. Then it's called that is offside. And a lot of people have a lot to say about that, even though that ref is cute. A lot of people has a lot to say that they did not believe it was offside.
Somebody says, we got robbed. Caitlin Ford wasn't offside.
Okay, and then someone goes, not a chance Ford was offside. The goal should have stood. We need VAR in the WSL. And a lot of times, now that NWSL has VAR for all games, sometimes it's almost like, oh my God, that's going to be checked for VAR. Oh my God, that's going to be checked for VAR. But situations like this, I think most people rather have VAR. Now, in this situation, I'm sure Man City liked the call. Okay, no goal. It was offside. Don't. It was fine with the call. But I think overall, people want the correct call. But some people might like the pure form of whatever gets called on the field is the correct call, or that's the call, you know. So that goal was called off. And then Man City came back and they took the lead. In the 57th minute, Jess Park scores an absolute banger. Whoa. That I could not have been placed better. Maanum had no chance at that ball.
That was it just like snuck in there.
And Jess Park, we didn't mention her during the Champions League game, but she's best player, you know, she's a killer. She's an absolute killer. Her name is on the top of everyone. I even saw someone go, she's Ballon d'Or winner for next year already. She is playing incredible. There's nothing that could have been done.
1 in a million.
It's like goal of season. If no one's beating that goal.
Exactly.
So City was up 2-1. I saw a lot of people saying, although they were playing, both teams, it was a lot of action. Both teams weren't playing specifically great. You know, they both weren't playing great. At the end of the game, there was like 4 or 5 chances that City had that Maanum just made some really great saves. She really kept them in this game, and on the Man City side too. So at the very end, there were some incredible saves. But those action-packed games, I just love. Then the second part of the controversy was this play right here. It was in the 79th minute. Chloe Kelly has the ball. Then Kim Little ends up on top of Chloe Kelly. And then the sequence goes, Beth Mead ends up scoring.
Oh my gosh, that was the wildest 5 seconds ever.
And a lot of people were saying they thought Kim Little had a foul on Chloe Kelly, or somebody, either Katie, because Katie was initially in Chloe, but then Kim Little ends up on top of Chloe Kelly. So I think a lot of people are saying, should that play have continued? Kim Little ends up on top of Chloe Kelly's pretty much head, her whole body. People are pretty much saying that was either a foul. Kim Little should have been called for a foul, or Katie McCabe for, it looks like she possibly tripped Chloe Kelly. Or at the very least, stopped the play for being dangerous. It should have never continued. But to Katie McCabe's credit, she continued that play. So if she wouldn't have continued with the ball running, that play would have never continued, and then Beth would have never scored. So that was definitely credit to Katie. But people are saying, was that a foul? Did Kim Little, should a foul have been called on Kim Little? And I guess they're also saying, should the play have continued because it was dangerous to have a player on top of another player? I believe Alex Greenwood got a yellow card, I believe, for protesting the play to begin with, or, you know, saying that should have never continued. But it was a wild sequence of events that did lead to Arsenal scoring. And a lot of people are saying it's like the Caitlin Ford goal should have counted because it was not, a lot of people believe it not to be offside. And then this goal should never have happened. So it almost canceled each other out. You get what I'm saying? So these goals theoretically should have canceled each other out. But it's no fun to see these kind of things. Was that goal offside? And also, should Kim Little, or, you know, should the play have been stopped? Someone given a foul in that situation on Chloe Kelly? I mean, those are the hard questions where it's kind of like,
does that mean it would end up even, or it would end up still tied anyway? Yeah. So it is what it is. It was meant to be a draw, I guess.
Yeah. So, I mean, what does everyone think? Do people like kind of crazy plays like that, or?
Oh, this is hurting my brain. This is a lot of thinking and processing what's happening.
It was just crazy. And at the very end, Arsenal did have a couple chances. They came close. And the Man City keeper did a great job as well. I believe it was her debut. I believe it was. But what did everyone think of this game at the very end? It was just kind of chaotic. This was a chaotic game. These are the kind of games I like. I love a lot of action. A lot of action always excites me. A lot of action.
Sure does.
These are the kind of games I really like. Like I said, Beth Mead did score that goal. That was a little bit of controversy. Be so happy to see her score. A lot of people, I saw them saying, hey, if Viv scored, they knew Beth Mead was going to score. For bragging rights, at least.
Do you think that Myle actually watches them at home? Like someone, whoever's watching her puts on the game, and
oh, maybe that'd be really. There's your mommies.
Does she follow along and know what's happening in the game?
Yeah, they should. Dogs are smart. They can recognize their mom. And at the very end, people, Jonas, whether you like him or not, he's something else, because at the very end of the game, he starts freaking out because he thinks the game should go on a little longer. He shows the fourth official his watch, like, no, it should go on longer. He gets a little excited. I don't know. He's very hateable, but I don't hate him.
Yeah, he got a little too heated.
He got really worked up. Because I remember when Joe Montemorro was the coach, I never remember seeing him get hyped up like that. It's just a personality thing, depending on your personality. But crazy game. I will read this. I saw a lot of Arsenal fans happy, but then because they were the ones who came back. But then I saw this, and I saw a lot of people kind of talking about this.
3 open chances missed by our strikers were outrageous. Arsenal should have been 3-0 up in the first half and killed the game, but tactically we were better than the game against Häcken.
Yeah, so I did see that a lot as well. Somebody goes, Jonas, seriously, just leave our club that you're ruining. Kind of a wild game. I mean, I don't think anyone anticipated quite that happening. Oh, kind of a wild game, fun game, but I don't think, from what I've put together with everything I've read, that people just don't think either team played that well. And a lot of people are still kind of questioning Jonas and his decision making. I mean, coming out of the first game against a tough opponent without a loss, that's definitely a plus. Getting a tough game out of the way first is always nice without a loss. And also at the very end of the game, I saw a TikTok with Viv going around hugging all her former teammates, and giving hugs, and really sweet hugs. And then her and Beth kind of had a moment at the very end as well. Very, very, very cute. And, her at the Emirates, so many people cheered for her. They still love her so much. She had a great cheer. So, kind of a bittersweet moment for her, I'm guessing. But, not getting a loss, that's always exciting for either team. I mean, obviously you want the win, but not getting a loss is sometimes nice as well. But exciting game, Beth scored, Viv scored, so in some ways it was kind of like the best result / you did still want to win. But I saw most City fans believed that there should have been either a foul or a game played stopped when Kim Little ended up on Chloe Kelly. But it was a crazy game, fun game. I love games like that. But we will see. I mean, it starts the season with a draw, which I'm thinking by the way both teams played, they're okay with that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But exciting start to the WSL season. The other big games this last weekend, Chelsea versus Aston Villa, 1-0. I mean, we're not going to talk about the game, but 1-0. Most people have said Aston Villa looked really good. They looked great. Chelsea did come away with the win, 1-0, but it was such a good game. I was reading the comments of the game, and such a good game. So that was exciting. And also, Crystal Palace made their debut. I don't know how to say that. And big loss to Spurs in a accumulation red card. So tough loss. Big win from Man United. And I saw that they had dedicated one of the goals to Ella Toone's father, who had passed away. So I thought that was very sweet and very, heartbreaking and sweet at the same time, And Liverpool and Leicester City had a draw as well. And then big win for Brighton over Everton. So exciting first weekend. What did everyone think? Think questions, comments down below. Crazy game. Yeah, Beth and Viv both scored. Who would have guessed it? I really wouldn't have guessed this outcome.
I did.
Oh, you did.
I would have. My guesses are as good as AI.
Oh dear.
Pretty bad. No.
Questions, comments down below. We'll talk to everyone later. Have a great night. Bye.
Bye.